Howdy folks, I'm Humble Snowshoe Hare, happily hopping down high hills.
I'm Amber.
And here are more high hills for us to hoppity hippity hoppa down. Except for it turns out that we accidentally turned ourselves into a snowball, so we're no longer hopping and we're in fact careening dangerously down the hill. Oh no, we just created an avalanche. It's an avalanche of Reddit stories. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to train my replacement after being passed over for a promotion? I'm a 29-year-old female and I have been working at my company for 5 years. Recently, a promotion opened up that I was heavily encouraged to apply for. I did multiple interviews, got good feedback, and honestly thought that I had a strong shot. Then, out of nowhere, they gave the role to Dave, a 34-year-old male, a guy who has been here just for over a year. Well, the official reasoning was that he had more leadership experience, which is fine, but he was literally coming to me for help on projects up until last month. It stung, but I was ready to move on until my manager asked me to help bring Dave up to speed on my tasks. Apparently, I would be shifting into more of a support role under him. I flat out said no. I told them that if I wasn't qualified enough to be promoted, then I wasn't qualified enough to train him either. My manager looked genuinely shocked and said that I was being short-sighted and unprofessional. HR even pulled me aside and implied that refusing could impact my future here. But at this point, I'm already job hunting, so I just will keep doing my usual work while they scramble to get Dave up to speed. Some coworkers think that I'm justified, while others, including Dave, think that I'm being petty. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. I think OP handled it perfectly. If she's not fit for the promotion, then she's certainly not fit to train this person. And I think it's really despicable what the company is trying to do. And good luck to OP with their job search.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point in time, OP is doing the right thing with actually just finding a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that matter is that they're giving this role to OP, not to OP, to Dave, who is newer and less experienced and those kinds of things. It feels like OP has kind of fallen into the trap of being too good at their job. So the company wants to keep them are essentially punishing them by keeping them stationary.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think OP is wrong at all. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Edie Jadin says, not the jerk, and lol on HR. Impact your future, like being passed over by someone less qualified didn't already have an impact on your career. Sounds like it's time for Dave to show off his leadership skills while you focus on finding a new job. Also, unless it's part of your regular job duties, they can't legally fire you for not training your replacement. That's HR's job. And I can't comment for says HR and companies are so scummy. Like, why do they do this nonsense? Sometimes I feel like they just want to spread misery. Why make life so hard? Like, what is wrong with you? What gives you the gall to pass over someone and ask them to train the person and expect everything to be fine and dandy? I feel like there's some disconnect somewhere. What kind of employee is going to stay at a company with no respect for them and even takes advantage of them? I too quit under similar circumstances, and I will never work for them again. Sure, my position was probably replaced in a few months, but I respect myself much more than their pennies. I got calls for months to come back, and they even threatened that they will abscond me. Go ahead. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Previously infertile girlfriend told me that she's pregnant. Am I the jerk for feeling used? For some context, my girlfriend and I have been together for just over 5 years, and she told me early on that she was infertile due to a condition, among other symptoms, that caused her not to menstruate. Well, we practiced safe intimacy in the beginning, but began to have unprotected intimacy about a year and a half into the relationship, as we were faithful to each other and didn't see the point since she couldn't get pregnant anyways. I loved her dearly, and I wanted a life with her, even if we couldn't have children. Well, fast forward to 2 days ago when she told me that she was pregnant and showed me 2 positive pregnancy tests. I was shocked and elated and terrified all at once, and I was so caught up in the happiness of all of it that I almost missed when she told me that she had started unexpectedly menstruating about 3 months ago. I had a delayed reaction to that bit of information, but I eventually asked her why she hadn't told me that she had been menstruating, as I probably would have gone back to using protection until we had a talk and made sure that we had more of a solid plan than just a surprise. She got very quiet and asked if I wasn't happy about the pregnancy. I told her that I am and that I love her and that I would support her and our baby no matter what, but that by not telling me that we could even get pregnant now, she had somewhat taken away my full consent out of it. I feel so torn because on one hand, I am happy about the prospect of having a child, and I love this woman deeply, but I do still feel somewhat lied to and used. Yes, I could have been using protection for the past 5 years, but we decided as a couple that it wasn't necessary because she couldn't get pregnant. When that apparently changed, I was not brought back into that decision. Am I the jerk for feeling used? Update, well, I wanted a perspective and opinions that were not my own, and you all provided it, so thank you. I have a lot to think about. Take care. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think Opie's in the wrong here. I mean, that is reproductive coercion. He was making a decision under the assumption that his partner could not get pregnant. And when things changed, she needed to let him know. Because at that point in time, he no longer knew what was actually going on.
Yeah, I think it was in poor taste for her to not loop him into the fact that she was now menstruating. And certainly, like, she probably wouldn't have been able to tell the first month, right? But the fact is that she, has now been having periods, and that should have been something that he was informed of just so that he could have a say in whether or not they wanted to have children, right?
Right, like he said, it may not have been the best time, and that was a decision they should have been able to make together.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that there are certainly, like, grounds here to be upset on OP's part. I don't know if she was malicious in this. I mean, it's something that can be really hard for people to talk about too. And so I understand why she may have felt it was difficult to talk about, right? But I think, again, she should have had an open and frank conversation with him about her menstruation.
Well, this isn't the kind of thing you surprise someone with,
Mm-hmm.
like, again, he should have been able to give informed consent, and he was not given that ability.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Left Kaleidoscope says, infertile and sterile are two words for different things. Infertile means the odds are very low of getting pregnant, but not impossible. Doctors need to explain this better. Feisty Plankton 775 says, yep, just like a vasectomy doesn't mean 100% sterile, neither does infertility. And Bippity Boppity Nope says, I wish people understood this because I've met so many people with unplanned babies because they thought that they were infertile, meaning unable to reproduce. And Res06 Miai says, I'm one of those. My mother had a couple of oopsie pregnancies that ended with quick miscarriages. She has been told that she would never be able to carry a pregnancy to term, that she was never able to keep a pregnancy longer than 4 to 6 weeks. So when she got pregnant with me, she of course wanted an abortion. She never wanted children. Her doctor refused because it would sort itself out. Then, when it didn't, her doctor scared her, saying that she better keep the pregnancy because it would be her only chance at ever having a child. 5 years later, she had my sister and immediately got her tubes tied. That's a horrifying story.
Gross medical negligence there.
And Basic Actuator 9879 says, I'll play the devil's advocate here with some personal experience. I'm a 36-year-old and I've never been pregnant, although not diagnosed with infertility. I believe that I am because I have active and unprotected intimacy in 2 long-term relationships since 24 and never had protection with either of them. Never got pregnant. I started some medical tests through the doctors, but stopped because I'm okay with not becoming a mother. I'm happy, so why pry into it? For a time with my first long-term partner, I was going through a lot of stress and I rarely had periods for a few years. Since I was 25, I've come to terms with the fact that I won't be pregnant. So having/not having periods just didn't really become a topic of conversations. Why would my period matter if I can't get pregnant? When I left my first long-term partner, my periods regulated, but still no pregnancy. I have had unprotected intimacy now with my fiance because why worry about becoming pregnant? I imagine that this is how your partner feels/felt. It is what it is. She can't get pregnant, and she came to terms with that idea, but a medical miracle happened. Please don't focus on what she believed of her body. She believed that she couldn't get pregnant, and I really truly get that. She probably thought nothing of getting her periods. If you love your partner and are excited at the prospect of becoming a father, embrace it. Don't assume that she lied to you, and enjoy the medical miracle that you both have created. What do you think of that one?
I think OP is this person is projecting way too much. I mean, I don't think you can assume other people's intentions like this. But I also think if OP's partner is not or not OP, but if the commenter's partner is not aware of what they're doing, then that's not okay. Like,
Yeah.
periods aren't the only sign of whether or not you're able to menstruate, but like it's a very dangerous game of just assuming you're infertile. And so, or sterile, I should say. And so if you're giving your partners false information, like if you say, "Oh yeah, I haven't been able to have a pregnancy so far," that's one thing. But if you're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sterile," and you're not communicating effectively with your partner, that's not okay.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I tend to like this person's perspective that there wasn't any malice on the end on any end
I
here.
don't think it was malicious, but I think
Yeah.
she was making too big a decision on her own.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, again, like she may have really sincerely thought that she couldn't get pregnant, and we that's information that I don't know that we could ever know for sure without
Mm-hmm.
OP digging into that and being like, well, did you think you could get pregnant? So I don't know. I would like to see the best in this situation, but I know sometimes that isn't always the case.
Whereas I'm the pragmatist.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Boyfriend His Honesty is Just Rudeness? My boyfriend loves to say that he's just an honest person. He thinks that brutal honesty is a sign of a strong relationship. I usually let it slide, but last night really got to me. We went out for dinner, and I was feeling great. I had picked out a dress that I loved, I did my makeup just right, and honestly, I felt pretty. We sat down, and out of nowhere, he looks at me and says, That dress kind of makes your stomach stick out, and laughed like it was nothing. I felt my face get hot, but I stayed calm and I told him that that felt rude, more rude than honest. He shrugged and said, Well, I'm just being honest. You'd rather hear it from me, right? I said no, actually, because I wasn't asking for his opinion. He got annoyed and said that I was being sensitive. I told him that honesty does not mean saying everything that pops out of your head. And he said that I was trying to change him, that I should appreciate having a boyfriend who keeps it real. Dinner was awkward after that. When we got home, he said that I overreacted and made him feel like a bad boyfriend for just being himself. Now I'm wondering if I should have just let it go. Am I the jerk for calling him out? All right, folks, what do you think of OP's brutal honesty towards their partner's brutal honesty?
I don't think OP's in the wrong here. And if he feels like a bad boyfriend, that's because he's being a bad boyfriend. Like, I don't think he likes the guilty conscience, but he should deal with those uncomfortable feelings. What he said was entirely unnecessary. And, like, literally everyone has a stomach.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at models in clothing stores, right? Sometimes, tight-fitting dresses will show people's stomachs, right? And we're talking about people who are very, very thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these people, they don't have a whole lot of body fat on them. And the fact of the matter is that it's a real big double standard that he is allowed to be brutally honest, but
Mm-hmm.
when OP is honest about how they feel, it's
Mm-hmm.
suddenly, oh, you're trying to change me, right?
Right. And there's no reason why she should be grateful for someone like insulting her and laughing about it. Like this brutal honesty is just an excuse to make fun of people.
Yeah. So I feel like, again, if OP had asked his opinion, been like, oh, hey, can you tell me what you think of this dress? And he gave his honest opinion, that's one thing, right? I mean, I still think that that would have been in poor taste to
Mm-hmm.
say that particular thing, but that would have been one thing. At least it would have been solicited. But he came out of nowhere and was just like, hey, your stomach's showing. As if you don't have organs.
Yeah.
Humans have organs. We have stomachs. They show, right? That's the way it is. It's not abnormal. It's just weird to be like, hey, you might have a stomach.
Well, and I mean, I think the entire point of this, is to make OP feel insecure to a
Yeah,
degree,
yeah.
That's not the kind of thing you say when you're being nice to someone.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Mr. Sanjuro75 says, but weren't you just being honest? Sounds like your boyfriend thinks that he can be honest, but can't handle honesty being thrown back at him. You're not the jerk your boyfriend is. And Rando Collusion says, exactly. He likes to keep it real until somebody does it to him. OP needs to hit him with, don't you want to know if I think that you're the jerk? And Sestifan says, those who like brutal honesty are just interested in being brutally cruel without compassion and tact, not the jerk. And Snoo42327 says, only exception is people who want to receive it rather than give it. Those people, aka me, are probably neurodivergent and want clarity. And Lydale says this, Also, why the golden rule isn't always the best course of action. Lol. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What crime was the baker charged with?
Oh, I know the answer to this one because I actually came up with this joke. What crime, Amber, was the baker charged with?
Battery.
Yeah, exactly. Battery.
And today's day is Turkey Vultures Return to the Living sign. I guess there's a sign, and every year that it's like a living sign, like made out of like with living trees or something. And every year turkey vultures return to it. So it was just kind of a really weird random one.
That is strange.
But today is also the day of my cover reveal.
Yes, Amber's book is, getting ready to be released. And so this is actually what the book looks like. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a screenshot here just so you can get a little bit better of a picture of it. But yeah, here's little white flowers.
Yeah, that's my proof copy. So actual book comes out on July 1st, although I do have an ebook pre-order on Amazon, and there will be paperbacks pre-order, or there'll be paperbacks definitely on release day, if not sooner. And I also will hopefully have it available on other vendors.
And I have Earl Grey. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, terrific Tuesday, spelled T-W-O. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it brutally honest.
If OP's boyfriend, who likes to be brutally honest, can't take it, then he shouldn't dish it.
Yes. Just like battery. Wait, no, not at all. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. I was thinking the baker stuff, and then I was like, wait, no, actually, that sounds a lot worse
It does.
than what I meant.
Bye.